Welcome to the Thrive Show. My name is Kim O'Neill, and today I have with me here Erika Weed. Erika is an executive coach and consultant who focuses on helping organizations change toxic work environments. She helps individual leaders take full advantage of their natural skills and interests, deepening their self-awareness so they can help themselves and their organization achieve their goals. Welcome, Erika.
Thank you.
So, Erika, we're going to get right into our topic today, and I love what you do. You help create a massive, healthy shift in organizational cultures. That's how I would put it. Does that resonate?
Yeah, that does. That's about what we do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, will you tell us more about why an organizational shift begins at the individual level?
So the most important thing to remember is that the way that you act, the way that you respond to things, the things that you think, all have an impact on the people around you. And so we like to start giant organizational shifts, huge cultural shifts, by working with individuals so that they can understand themselves a little bit better. That's really where we can understand some of the productive behaviors that people like to use. We can also start to understand some of the unproductive behaviors that people start to use. It starts right there with you and your own stuff.
Well, that leads right into my next question, because I love one of the things you emphasize is something that I think is not commonly discussed in the workplace, and that's the shadow. What is a person's shadow?
So the shadow is all the fear, all the negativity, all the shameful things about yourself that you would prefer other people not know about, the things that we all try to hide from the people closest to us. And the shadow really has a huge impact on the way that we interact with other people and the way that we behave with other people. So anytime you find yourself in a position where you're angry or you're upset, you find yourself doing something that you know is probably not the right answer, that's probably going to be your shadow.
Whew. What happens? Okay, so we're going to get a little deeper into it. What happens if a person tries to change their shadow? Is that possible, or is it all just about love?
So we cannot change our shadow. Our shadow is, it comes from our earliest experiences as human beings, and it's really grounded in things that are necessary for us to understand. All of those challenging experiences that you've had throughout your life, that's what the shadow is made up of. And that information is necessary for us. It's good for us to have. So we don't want to try and change it. We definitely can't get rid of it. But what we can do is learn to accept it. It's kind of, I like to call it the seasoning on your personality. It's what makes you the person that you are. And we don't want to get rid of that. You don't want to be a bland bowl of oatmeal, even if everybody can agree that they like it. You want to have that special something that makes you unique. And so really the goal is to learn what the shadow is, what your shadow is, learn how to have conversations with your shadow rather than trying to ignore it, and really learn to embrace it as a part of the wonderful person that you are.
How would you recommend someone have conversations with their shadow?
I would start by finding the thing that makes you angry. Usually when we find ourselves getting angry or upset or frustrated with people, there's something there that is triggering the shadow. It's ringing that bell. And the best way to kind of understand what your shadow is saying is to figure out why that makes you angry. Why is it that somebody else dismissing you, or somebody trying to take advantage of you? Why is it that those things really bother you, whatever it is that they are? And that can give you a better understanding of what your shadow is trying to tell you. You can actually have a conversation with those emotions and have a conversation with those thoughts in your head and figure out if those are really the way that you want to perceive the world, if that's really how you want to operate, or if maybe there's a better option for you.
Well, that leads right into my next question for you, and the role of forgiveness. And so how does the role of forgiveness, what does that play in changing a toxic work environment?
So I think it has a lot to do with giving people the option to not respond to things that could potentially trigger their shadow, trigger those really toxic workplace behaviors that we're all trying to avoid. Forgiving the people around you, because we've all heard the saying that everybody is going through a struggle that you know nothing about. That's
Right.
part of it. But understanding that your response to that is your own responsibility. And so I think forgiveness for others, and particularly forgiveness for ourselves, all the things that we've done in our lives, all the mistakes that we've made, the times that we've screwed up, and that shame that we take with us really can have kind of a corrosive effect on our relationships going forward. And so, forgiving people for the screw ups that they might potentially make is fine, but we really have to start by forgiving ourselves.
Awesome. Well, now you have some questions that people can ask themselves to start to shift a situation that may be consuming their thoughts or feelings. Will you share some of those questions with us so we can take a look at those? And I would say for our audience, grab a pen and paper and definitely write these down.
I would say that there are lots of questions that you can ask yourself. You can ask yourself if the behavior that you're planning to use is really the best behavior. Is that something, I always tell people, if you want to get angry, but it should be your choice. If you want to be sad, but that should be your choice too. So starting with understanding what the behavior is before you engage in it. What do you want to do in this particular situation? Do you want to yell? Do you want to take a time out? Do you want to move to another room to calm down? Do you want to sit quietly and listen? All of these are right answers. Just the idea of intentionally choosing one that's working best for you is the most important thing. Then we can work backwards to understand what the emotions are behind that, right? So is it anger, which can often be a mask for sadness or discomfort? So, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling upset by something? Are you feeling unwanted? Is there something in that emotion that we can really understand a little bit better? And then think even further back and think about what the thoughts are that triggered those emotions. Do you, for some reason, feel like people don't want you wherever you are? Do you feel like you're not safe in this moment? Do you feel like you've messed something up? And is that really true? A lot of times we carry around these assumptions with us that sometimes just need to be challenged in order to go away. And so really kind of asking yourself those questions as you're in a tricky moment, and it's a skill that can be developed, but really just asking yourself these little questions in the moment when you feel yourself getting worked up or you feel yourself getting angry about something can be really helpful in figuring out how to deal with that situation in a really positive way.
Those are great questions. This definitely sounds like it's leading a person back to their own, more deeper self-awareness for themselves, but also personal responsibility. That can be very empowering.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and wisdom with us today, Erika.
Anytime.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to our audience today. We hope that you found value in today's conversation.